Hey coaches, today we have in Mike Hardwick, head coach and offensive coordinator for a middle school in Mississippi. Mike's been running the air raid for a decade with success. He's going to share a few quick game concepts today and a few secrets to help you succeed. And it's all starting right now. If you find my content helpful, if you want to learn more about youth and middle school passing concepts, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that little bell notification so you don't miss a thing, and of course, continue to like and comment in the video below. We are continuing on our mission of enabling youth football coaches to run the spread. We are here kind of building off the webinar series now that we've given you some resources on how to install and run the air raid. I wanted to now start layering on some use cases and find some coaches that are running this at a high level around our great country. So today I have Mike Hardwick, who is from Mississippi. I was excited to start talking with Mike because he has been running the air raid for a lot longer than me and longer than a lot of these youth and middle school coaches that I've come across. So how's it going, Mike? Welcome in.
Happy Friday, TGIF, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I work at Oxford Middle School in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm, I guess, for lack of a better word, director of 7th and 8th grade football. We have 2 separate teams. So I'm actually the head coach of one team. There's another guy, head coach of another team, but I'm in charge of everything. In addition to that, I sort of coordinate our community elementary league. I mean, they run it themselves, but I stay involved in that. And they're aligned with what we do. And so we sort of try to kind of morph a little bit every year into that. So we're trying to get everything integrated into what we're doing in the middle school. I've been here since 2005. Before that, I was a principal for 20 years. And then I decided I'd go back and end my career having fun like I started it, coaching and teaching middle school boys. So that's what I've enjoyed the most. We're in Oxford, Mississippi, where University of Mississippi is. The school has a long history of sports excellence. The school has, I think, 72 state championships.
Wow.
20 in the last 10 years, and about 3 years ago, we won 9 in 1 year. However, football has been mediocre at best for a long time. You know, football is king here in Oxford with the University of Mississippi, and that was kind of most people's attitude. Hey, high school football on Friday night is great. If you lose, that's great. If you win, that's great, because Saturday we're going to the Grove and watch Ole Miss play. You know, so that's kind of how it was. And our numbers were low in 2005, alluding to the, other sports excellence. Soccer is big here in Oxford. And that's how actually we draw a lot of our football guys. And one of the reasons how we kind of came into the air raid, we have tall, lanky athletes, and we have a really good track program, which, kind of got started in the mid-90s when our school built a track. And that really caught on. And those two things really helped fuel the football program down the road. But in the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah, we were 4-6, 5-5, 6-5, 6-4, and everybody was perfectly happy as long as you were in that. So I was kind of charged with, hey, we have 25 guys the year before out for middle school football. Can you see what you could do? So, and now we have between the 2 grades to get combined, I think we had like 120 last year. So, but that is taken since 2005. That, just piece by piece, brick by brick, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later with philosophy if we have time for that. But
yeah,
one of the first things was trying to define our identity and how to get kids out for football. And again, we looked at, and we were competing, as you said, with other sports, which is a lot of youth, 7th and 8th grade, when you've got travel ball, travel leagues, other sports, year-round sports, sharing of athletes, all those things that all of us in the youth in 7th and 8th grade have to contend with. And that was certainly prevalent here, and some of those other sports were a lot better than football at that time. So we had to capture kids' attention, imagination, and handing it to a stud, if you happen to have a stud 30 times, wasn't gonna cut it. And so we just
100%.
sort of stumbled onto the air raid a little bit. And I was very fortunate, as I alluded to the other night, a gentleman came into the district whose son was playing for Ole Miss. He was a coach in Alabama, had retired, and was just teaching here, and nobody knew it. And somehow he and I found out, and I found out who he was. He'd been in the state championship game in Alabama 8 times. 8.
Wow.
8. And he had been running the air raid. So he started teaching me. He started coming out to our practice. And it turned out he knew Mike Leach. And he had been to Mike Leach's spring camp, his summer practices for 8 years in a row. In fact, he said one spring practice, all Mike Leach did in 7-on-7, his team, was run the verts. Talking about your favorite play, the verts. In every formation he could come up with, that's all he did was figuring out how we could tinker with the verts. So anyway, and I was in the office. He used to call Mike Leach all the time and talk. So he knew his stuff, and he taught me the air raid, and we started trying to do it about 2009, 2010, little by little. And it's just been a process ever since then. And we've made a commitment that anybody that ever asked us what we were doing, even if it was people we played, that it would just make us better, and that anybody that asked us that thought we did something good, we would share it with no holds barred. And, I've shared some stuff with you and sent you some stuff. You've sent me stuff. And I think we kind of have the similar mindset of if we have any expertise, or anybody thinks we have any expertise doing any of that, we're much willing to share it in hopes that it helps the whole product. And it'll help us as well, because I've learned some stuff from you as well, just in the short time we've known each other. So anyway, that's
Mike,
my air raid journey.
Yeah. And I want to just highlight 1 or 2 points that you mentioned, because it is the entire reason that I felt obligated almost to put out an air raid series, was because our game is, since 2005-ish, has been under, I don't know if it's been under attack is the right term, but it's, there's definitely there was some really bad impact on our football numbers. And to your point, and I've made this point in my article on Youth Football Online and some other publications, is that kids aren't choosing football anymore. They have all these choices. When we played ball started playing football in the 80s and 90s, you played football, that was it. There was hundreds of kids that went out for it. If you were good, great. If you weren't, you just did what you played the position your coach told you, and you did what was best for the team. And I still believe in that philosophy. I want that to be part of football still. But the truth is, in 2020, a kid that's not built like a running back or a wildcat quarterback, if he can play baseball or basketball year round, and he has the choice to do that, and he knows he's going to touch the ball and have impact in that sport, why would he stop and come be a role player on a football team and not touch the ball, or not even have a possibility of impacting the game on offense, if he could play a sport where he knows he can add value year round? So my biggest thing with this whole thing, and it sounds like we are exactly on the same page, is like, let's spread the word. Let's have kids choosing football again, running the spread offense. I believe in the air raid specifically, but just if we can just spread the ball around in general, and have basketball players playing the outside receivers, and have little slot receivers playing inside, and have a strong fullback or tailback in the backfield, and have linemen that are, of that side. I mean, the beauty of football is there is a position for every type of body. There's a position for every type of athlete. When we focus on one position dominating the ball, it takes away all of those options. So yes, I believe we are 100% helping youth football numbers. It sounds like you are a beautiful test case out there. You started way before we did, but you've seen the numbers come back because you're offering a brand of football that these kids want to play. And you mentioned basketball players, soccer players. We have baseball players coming out, and we need to get those kids back, because the truth is they can choose or not choose football. And when they ask their parents, and their parents say no, or they start to waver. I don't think kids are fighting to play football. I think they're okay, fine, I'll just play basketball, or I'll just play whatever. And there's not really emotionally tied in. And then we lose them before they get to high school. And the big picture, we need to help high school numbers. Freshman teams out here are going away in high school. They're all Frosh soft teams now. Luckily the varsity numbers have stayed pretty consistent. But anyway, get off my soapbox. I completely agree with you on that. And I think sharing knowledge and just giving coaches the tools to run an offense they never did. I didn't run spread. I grew up in the wing T. I'm sure you grew up in a run dominant offense. And most of these coaches out there just don't know how to run the spread or run the air raid in particular. And that's what I'm on a mission to do. And I'm glad you're here doing it with me, Mike. So I appreciate that.
One if I could. Yes, I ran when I played in the 70s. I'm 61, by the way, so I am an old school coach. You just need to identify your school, your community, your culture, and you need to get to work matching up your program based on your area, that sort of thing. But number two, if you want to pin me down to offensive philosophy, it has nothing to do with X's and O's. This is it. And I know Coach Lasker's mentioned this a couple of times that he and I have talked about for a couple of weeks. And in every round table, I know Coach has mentioned this. Whenever you talk to not only kids to recruit them or go to the schools or go to however, but when you talk to parents, that one should be one of the first things, in my opinion, that you should make clear is that what you're doing is fun. You're going to make it as fun as you possibly can. Also, the third thing, I think most coaches generally, and I was one, had the idea that Coach Lasker's a parent, I'm going to keep him at arm's length. You know, the more questions he asked, he was just going to be a problem. And that was probably, again, in my age, that's probably the way most coaches ran their program. I bet you every coach in America. We'll tell you what we're going to do, and you either like it or you take your kid off the field. And as we were just discussing, don't think you can do that today and capture kids, because you also, at our level, before you capture a kid, Coach Lasker, what do you probably have to capture first?
Their parents.
The parent first. Even if the kid says, Coach, I'm with you, I want to play, but my won't let me. You better capture the parents. So the more methods of communication that you have, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through your texting groups, whether it's through Remind, it's through Huddle, there are many ways to communicate, but you are cutting your nose in spite of your face if you are not actively, warmly advocating communication to your parents and players. They will want to know what you're doing. When you're open and you're not fearful of what you're doing, you're inviting communication, and in some cases, two-way communication, and in some cases, as you know, it will be things that you don't like to hear. But if you invite that, I think today's parent goes, I might need to check this guy out. This guy, we might need to find out a little bit more about what they're doing. So I think those two are paramount. Make it fun, communicate with everybody. And like I said before, just develop what it is you're going to do. Once you have identified it, you know how you're going to make it fun. You have your communication established. Whatever it is you're going to do, piece by piece, brick by brick, bit by bit, just do it, learn it. You learn what you're going to do. You get prepared, you teach it, and just add to it. And then over time, that's how you'll institute your program. None of those things, Coach, probably didn't answer your question. It has nothing to do with X's and O's, but that's what I did at Oxford to try to establish it. And for the past 9 years, we've averaged 1.5 losses a year. So, I mean, other people can tell me whether that's good or bad. It may be bad. I don't know. I think a lot of people would take that. So, I don't know.
All day. If the kids are having fun and the parents are feeling like they have a part in it, and that their kids are safe. I love that you highlighted tackling here, because that is a huge thing that you mentioned earlier, that we're trying to overcome the idea that this is extremely dangerous in youth sports. But I've seen multiple.
I have a website like you. I have a website, and as much as I can require parents, we have a tackling video. And so again, we have a parent meeting, and I bring our equipment and our helmets, and I show them, here's what your child's going to be using. So like Coach Lasker, you come to my meeting and you have a son that's playing and you're not really sure about all this stuff. You're going to want to know, is my son protected? What kind of equipment that I have? Is it hand-me-downs? Is it appropriate? Is it fitting? And I'm going to show you our equipment, and you're going to go, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to show you our tackling video. I'm going to show you our tackling circuit and how we're going to teach tackling. And then you're going to get, and then I'll open it up and let you grill me about it's good, bad, ugly, of what I have to do. And you'll be surprised. Again, we're a university town. We have educated people, even in Mississippi. And I have a bunch of moms that'll ask me, hey, before I let my son play, I'm concerned about tackling. I want to know about your helmet, how it's rated. And we have to know where our helmet is rated. And we use shut helmets. We use 5-star rated shut helmets. I'm fixing to buy a bunch more whenever we get through with the coronavirus. And the tackling is important. And I'm with you. Those are two things. If you don't communicate to your parents, you will lose some kids just because some parents don't know what you're doing, and they won't release your kids to play for you just because of that thing that you could probably fix if you just address it.
Just get out in front. Just get out in front of it. It's there. Just take it head on. Show them what you're doing, and be transparent, and people appreciate that. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the X's and O's. So before we get into the specific plays, maybe can we talk a little bit about playbook as a whole? Is it big? Is it small? What kind of plays? Are they quick passes versus drop back game, which might be longer? Like, how do you guys decide how that all kind of comes together in a playbook fashion?
I'm glad you asked me that, because it's your fault that I did this. When you shared that the other day, I thought, I got to do that. That is, hey, and I hope nobody from Mississippi is on here, because this is it, and you're welcome you're welcome to post it. This is our 7th and 8th grade playbook. Now, some of this may not make sense, but at the top, the quick game, don't read this left to right. Each column is just independent. Each column is just what we do. These are all of our formations. Second column is all of our quick game plays. We separate the bubble from the quick game. We talked about that the other night. We can talk about that if we have time. This is all of our bubble screens. The bottom is our screen and our tunnel screen. Our read game is what we call our what I think you call your drop back game. Here's my 2 rollout passes, and here's my running game. Nobody asked me about this the other night. What's my last play on my running game? I can't believe nobody asked me about this the other night. On my run game, the last play on my run game is what? The R flare. It's a pass.
Nice. I love it. Yeah.
But we list it as a run, and that's how we convince our kid. This is like me handing it to you on a sweep. When I call this play, I never worry about me getting you the ball that you're going to get it. I don't worry about me getting you that mesh for handing it to you on the sweep. Our flare is just another version of the sweep, and I'm not going to worry about completing this pass, because we're going to complete it 99% of the time. So that's why I listed, this is just a run for us. I'm just going to throw it to you instead of handing it to you.
Couldn't agree more.
So
we talk about our bubble screen the same way.
Nobody asked me about that. And these are all our line calls. So this is our complete offense, run, pass, everything. It may look complicated, but it's really not a lot of stuff. And some of this stuff is repetition. It's the same stuff over and over again. Yeah. But that is our 7th and 8th grade offense. The 7th grade doesn't, of course, start learning all of it but we start learning it. And by the time they're through with pretty much when they get to the 7th grade, they have at least been exposed to it. And so we spend the 8th grade year finalizing it, perfecting it. And we're aligning more and more with the 9th grade and the varsity. And a lot of these calls are new to me because they are the high school calls. What we do in the 7th grade, we want to call it the same thing when I'm a senior. We feel like if I do that from the 7th to 12th grade and we're calling it the same and it's the same play, we're just probably refining it and adding to it. We might get good at it. So anyway, there you go. That's our entire playbook.
Let's break this down a little bit. I love this thing because if you can fit your whole playbook, including your formations on one page, you're doing something great. So formation-wise, 2x2s, and you got a couple of variations, but let's just call it 2x2, one formation, 3x1, another formation, and empty. So you have three formations. What's Army Navy? Is that goal line?
Army Navy. I got it from Coach Mackey, your guy, who I love too. And this comes from my defensive coordinator, which is basically trips, but the tight end is on the line in tight.
Oh, I love that.
Our defensive coordinator says, and I said, trips if you put the guy, off the line in tight. He goes, no, that's not a problem. He said, but if you put the tight end tight on the line, then that means, I've got to do something defensively or shift to it. And then you put doubles out wide. He says, that's a problem for me as a defensive coordinator. So, and my guy has been, a coordinator for high school for years. And 3 years ago, when we were in the state championship game 3 years in a row, he was the defensive coordinator for high school. Got sick and decided he'd scale back a little bit. So that's why he's with me. So that's what Army Navy is. This is a new formation we've just put in, which is doubles, 2 receivers out wide, but the tight end on the line of scrimmage, because my defensive coordinator and Coach Mike Mackey says that gives defenses problems. So I'm going to put it in.
I love it. So coming into this year, you basically had 3 formations, including empty. So you're going to go to 4, which is still amazingly small. And I cannot stress to the coaches out there enough, the smaller the better with all of these things. We only have 3 formations, and then we do variations off them. We just do the only one that we do that you don't do. It looks like it's a 2-back with a two backs in the backfield and in the spread. But it literally, we run all of our plays out of those exact same formations. So I love that.
We do. I'm just done. We do. And one of my clips that I posted on the Facebook page was out of gun, and that's what we call it. We call it gun. And
nice,
so
nice.
we do that. We just do that. We did not do that any this year. We did it the year before when I had a couple of good running backs. So that's why it's not listed here. We didn't do it last year.
Beautiful. Well, I love it. And so minimal formations, which is so air raid, and then plays. I couldn't count all those plays, but would you say it's less than 12 plays? How many plays do you think you had on there?
I think if you did all of them as standalone plays, including run play, I think you're talking about 16 plays. So you're talking about less than 20 plays. And we have 11. I mean, guys, that's what makes this offense so deadly. And Mike, but I want to get it out there just for the guys listening. We're going to out execute everyone, and Mike's going to get into practice here in a second. And you guys have seen some film on my practices, but the way you practice this air raid, the way you get reps for your quarterback throws and catches for your receivers, I mean, you can't buy that type of repetition and that type of just over and over catching balls, running the same routes over and over every practice. So I love it. And because you have a small playbook, you can do it. You can focus on those core plays. You said this in the first 2 roundtables, which has been great, by the way. I've learned a lot. And I'm not sure if some of your guys have picked up on it. As you mentioned, it's not the plays, it's the reps. That's what I would like to emphasize, and that I would love to help with anybody that thinks I can help them. The sauce is the reps and how you practice it. And the better you
100%.
get at that, and the more reps, and the more you learn what works for you to practice it, then then you'll automatically know what plays and types of plays to add to your flavor, into your puzzle, your pieces of the puzzle. It's immerse yourself in the drills and the reps. And you've said this a couple of times in the roundtables, is that's what you need to do. And you've posted some stuff on there, on that. And there's a bunch of stuff because Mackey's posted, practice stuff. There's all kind of stuff on YouTube about practice stuff. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying it's there. All you got to do is go find it. And that's what I would just emphasize, to anybody watching this. Don't get hung up on the plays. Get hung up on trying to find some ways to practice that'll work for you and rep it. And then you'll figure out what sorts of plays will work with the abilities and how successful you are with some of these drills.
100%. I mean, there is an endless list of air raid plays out there.
Endless.
And if you limit yourself, there's plenty of resources out there to go research Y corner and stick and mesh and cross and sail and all these routes and concepts. We all, for whatever reason, chose our few. I have 3 quick game and 2 drop back game, and we just rep it to death and just figure out why you want to use those plays, and then you can plug it in. But as Coach is saying, these everyday drills, every day, settle and noose, routes on air, all these the bubble game, the screen game, those drills, all these, I love all these because it's something that air raid teams do, and these drills are exactly the way you want your receivers acting and reacting in the actual play itself. So it just builds on each other, and it's great. Cool, Coach.
Example, if you're doing the stick and you have educated yourself on the stick, as you know, you and I have sort of talked about the stick back and forth and all that. We kind of kidded each other about how we both do it. And you've seen the gamillion videos, and we watched yours and Mackey's and all, and Leach's and all the gamillion ways to do it. And you go to practice and you're going to run the stick, and you can do it some, and you understand exactly the thought behind it. And you can do it some, but you don't really do it as well as you can, or as the way those guys talk about, it's automatic. You can't stop it, but it's not automatic, and you can't stop it for you. Then the sauce is finding the practice drills to augment the stick in a couple of those routes. It's not the play. The play's not the problem. The play's cool. The play's going to work. It's just teaching your kids, the practice drills, the green, the settle in the noose and the green grass, those things that they need, the vocabulary, the glossary that they need to run it right. And then you'll see that play works. And when that play works, then your shallow works, and then your mesh works. I mean, it's just a couple of things you need to do, but once you do it and find it, then it'll fix 2 or 3 or 4 of your routes. And I hope those are the things we'll probably fix to talk about here that I think I maybe could help with a little bit. Maybe. Who knows?
Beautiful. No, you're the man. All right, cool. Well, let's get to it, man. I think all the coaches are dying to see some of your chalk, and you kind of go through, maybe pick a play you want to kind of go through from concept to execution, and let's go through maybe one of your first plays that you love to run.
Okay. All right. Here's the quick game. We had the round table, so anybody's watching that, you can refer to that. I think it's already been posted. There was a lot of good discussion on that. Coach Lasker, he calls it verts. I call it all go. It's the same stuff. He has a great video, which I stole, by the way, and I'll show it to you to show it to you, Matt. I stole it and posted it. He explained this 20 minutes. Look at that. It is amazing. I talked about the question was the other night, one of the coaches said, okay, which one is your favorite? So I went over the curl flat and the curl flat derivative, the curl flat and go. I went over that probably longer than I should have. Coach had to cut me off the other night. And,
no, man, we love it.
I didn't take it personally, but just kidding. So that's on there, the round table. So I'm not going to talk about those. Coach Matt, I think the hide, which is your Y corner, I think it's a separate round table. everybody does it. Everybody does it a little different. I think we could spend a whole 2 hours talking about that. Put that in your bonnet, write that down. I think we ought to do that as a round table. So
Agree. I love that play.
That leaves the all stop, which you guys would probably call the hitch, and the slant hitch. I don't see a lot of these things covered on YouTube. This is part of our quick game package. These were told to me, as was told to the guy that taught me, by Mike Leach. These right here were the original plays when Leach and Mummy started thinking of this stuff. And I should have put this quote on here. Remember the air raid, and I think you might have mentioned this 2 weeks ago in your round table. When they were sitting around years ago, they thought of, okay, what gives defenses problems? And they said, okay, we got to go from sideline to sideline, and if we can make the defense cover 30 to 35 yards, 30 yards laterally in the width of the field that way. So the first thing they did was come up with how to stretch the field in those 30 to 35 yards. This is what they came up with. And a lot of these guys have come in derivatives and, done their own thing. And as I said the other night, I have a bad habit of of kind of making it seem like if you don't do it like this, then this isn't the quick game and you're wrong. If I come across like that, Mr. Matt, please correct me, or coaches correct me. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is how it was taught to me. This is what works for us. And this is how we've structured our practices and what we do to make this work. A lot of guys do derivatives of this, and we do a little bit of the stick, but not a lot. And Coach and I have kind of kidded each other about this. We do the slant hitch, and I'm gonna save it to last. So let's get into it. Let's get into, you guys would call the all hitch. We're going to call the all stop. And when I show it to you, you're going to go, is this it? So let's look at it. This is my Just Play software, which we just got a couple of weeks ago, and this is amazing. Here's all my quick game routes. We're going to start. This is the first thing that we do. This is the first route that we teach in the 7th grade, the all-stop route. That's it.
Love it.
You're going to look at that. Any coach looking at it is going to go, you're going to go, this is it? This is all you do? Now, coach teaches his to go at 3 yards. We teach it at 5 yards. It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters what works for you. We do the outside receivers 5 yards, inside receivers 4 yards from where they line up. So we're really only going a couple yards downfield. You do it however works for you. I was amazed at watching Coach Lasker's video, and all those guys, because he's got those receivers, all those guys back off. They don't back off for us, So this is how we teach it. We spend an unbelievable time going over this route on air without throwing the ball. Because because what they'll do, and Coach, I bet you'll say the same thing, because you alluded it in one of your videos when your guy went too deep, but you completed it for a long pass, but you said he didn't really run that right. He went too deep, number one, and number two, when he turned, he just started hopping his feet, and he started drifting back a little bit. This route is hard to teach because it's hard. We teach you to do a basketball move. We're going to come around 5 yards, and you're going to plant away from the defender. And what drill is that? That's the loose and noose drill.
Yep.
That's all that is. So we're taking the loose and noose drill, and we're going to immediately after doing that, we're going to take you to this route on air, and we're going to run you 5 yards downfield, tell you to turn around. Your defender's on the outside, turn to the inside, block him off like a basketball guy, and stop. And stand there and put your hands in front of your nose, because we're teaching our quarterbacks to hit you right in the nose. And it's unbelievably hard because the kid will go down there and he'll start turning around and drifting. Before you know it, he'll drift 7 or 8, 9 yards right into the defender. This is an unbelievably hard route to teach. I know it looks easy and it's not sexy. But I'm fixing to show you a bunch of play. I mean, you can't stop this. You can't stop it.
And that's the beauty of it, Coach, is that, yeah, someone that that's never practically run a passing offense can look at this and go, this isn't complicated. Where's all my crossing? Where's all the post? Like, no, this is winning football. Take your 4 yards, and they're good enough to break it. Maybe they get loose. They're one-on-one on the edge. What else do you want? Hey,
it's not
real quick
sexy.
before you get to the film.
Okay.
Before you get to the film, quarterback read. What are you teaching your quarterback?
This the other day. There's several different ways. For us, I call the side that he's looking, and he's reading on. If you notice the concept, he's reading the two defender. And I was asked about this the other night. They're listed as corners and Sams and all we do is ask, who is the one defender? The one defender is identified. Here's the sideline. Who is the one defender closest to the sideline? Well, I mean, it's going to be corner. We never call him the corner. We call him the one defender. For the quick game, it's set for one route. The quick game, you're reading the two defender. The quarterback comes up pre-snaps. He identifies the two defender. Then I call the side. You can read the free safety. If he goes this way, you're going to read that way. Coach Mackey, I believe in a video, Coach, a couple of weeks ago and during the virus, said he was watching some coaches and he was going to change it this year on this quick game and read who? He was going to read the Mike linebacker. So in something like this, Mike linebacker is going to do what? This right there?
Yeah.
If the Mike linebacker does that, he's going to work it going the other way. So there's different ways to do it. You can read the safety. You can read one of the backers. We're going to read the two defender to the side that I call it.
All right. And so if that two defender just sits there, you're throwing so you called it right. You called this all stop and you're telling them to go to the right. And then they're looking at the two defender one. Give me the scenario. If the two defenders just squats there, what does he do? And if the two
he's going to sit there, but we're running like a quick route. If that defender collapse, if he knows what we're doing, and you're right, as soon as I break down, I fast feet to start breaking down, and he collapses on that guy, we tell our guy, you better have the ball's coming there. You better have inside position because our quarterback is taught to throw it right there.
He's throwing it. Okay, good. I love it.
Number two defender. If he doesn't react, because here's the other thing we didn't cover that we covered a lot the other night. And let me go back. Let me start over. Everything for us in every one of our quick game, every play looks like the all vert, the all go.
Okay.
That's why for us, all those plays, those 5 plays work. Everything looks like the all vert. Okay. And like for you, you have that those good receivers and that awesome quarterback. Well, as soon as you start going downfield, those guys all start bailing out because they're scared to death of you going
deep. Don't get deep.
So for all 5 of my quick game routes, it looks like a vert, and so all these coaches are going, "Oh shit, there they go, they're running downfield." So if I'm running that, they better be at least squatting at the very least, if not bailing out. That is the other secret sauce by what we do. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying for us, everything the first step is downfield. It's up to you to make every play of the quick game look like an all go. When you come off the line, like you're doing an all go. This guy has to think it's an all go. He thinks it's an all go. He thinks it's an all go. And when this guy sees my quarterback kick stepping and he sees all these guys going vertical, he's thinking, well, coach just said, don't let anybody get beat behind me. That's what makes it work. But and to your point, if he collapses, he goes automatically right there. And we tell that receiver, your job is to get position on him because we've told the quarterback.
Post him up.
And if that ball gets intercepted, shit, that's not his fault. That's not his fault. That's your fault.
Right. Love it. No, and to your point, Coach, you are this is the way you guys have been successful. And, there's a million coaches out there with videos. teaching all verts, 4 verts, teaching all stops, teaching all hitches, teaching all curls. And for whatever reason, this works for you.
Yeah.
And when someone watches one of my videos or Mackie or Piscopo's all verts, I got mine from Patrick Taylor, even though I watched all the videos. Just for some reason, the way he did it spoke to me.
Right.
And so I just want to expose other coaches to other ways that people are doing it. And your way might speak to other coaches. So I just want to hear exactly how you guys have been successful. And I love that progression. I love it.
And there's been some things that I've seen that I've been interested in and watched on Coach 2 or video, and I'll go, that's not going to work for us. And so we don't do it. We're just presenting different ways that we do this.
Love it. Cool. Video, love it. It's my favorite part.
Let's do a couple of videos. Let's go to doubles. Again, this is the state of Tennessee champion. This is Lausanne School. I hope he's not on this video. I hope he doesn't see this video because we toasted him. Here we go.
These are some big boys, Coach.
This is our doubles. This is our 2x2. This is doubles. This is nice. This is just doubles for us. You see what they're doing? They're doing a 4-2. 4-3, and their safeties. They already know a little bit about us because look at how far their safeties back. They think I have your receiver because they're like 20 yards back, aren't they?
Why is he so far to that side? Do you think?
Don't know. He's so far back. He's out of the picture. I don't know.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're at the line.
And this is a good team. They won the state of Tennessee, the state championship game. They dropped 50 on Brentwood Academy in the middle school championship.
To get to the line, I just want to take it through so coaches can see how you guys call it. Are you guys huddling? Or are you calling hand signals? What are you doing? They run to the line after, and then they look over at you.
There I am.
Okay.
That's me. So I'm calling everything by hand signal. We call the first signal is the formation. The second signal is the play. I'll give you the play call.
Do it. Come on.
Stop.
I'll stop.
Stop.
Okay. Well, how do you call doubles?
Okay. Doubles is I'm gonna stand up. Doubles.
Got it. Love it.
Doubles.
Nice and easy.
That's play call. Then I'm going to give you the line call, and then the quarterback gives that verbally. The line call on the side. He gives that he gives that a verbal call, and then we're ready to go. We go.
Right.
We try to go 12. In fact, I usually have a parent in the stands, and I ask him to time us, and I want to know how many plays that take more than 16 seconds. We try to do 12 seconds. 12 to 14 is what we want to do. If it gets 16 seconds, that's not good, and I want to know it. So.
Love it. Okay, sorry. I keep stopping the film.
That's good. Let's
roll it.
All right, here we go. One step drop. There we go.
Oh, baby, easy money.
I'm going to steal that term. I like it. Right there. And here we go. He should have gone upfield.
Yeah, make a play. Go make a play. That's a 4-yard pass for 7-yard gain, something like that.
So now we're second and what, 2? I kind of like second. I know, Coach, you like second and 2?
I love, especially when it didn't come from banging 8 heads on 8 heads.
That's right. This is later. These are with our 2s. Everybody here is a 2. This is a 2. Lineman's a 2. Quarterback's a 2. This is different guys. They still won't get out of this. They're still in the same thing. So here we do. We tried again. We should have gone down here. We should have gone to the right. With the 2s, I'm not so confident in my 2s. So here I am on the field now because I'm not so confident they know.
Oh yeah, we were giving you some grief on the round table the other night about that, huh?
That's so they were making fun of me, weren't they? So here we go. Same thing. He reacts pretty good, and we don't get a big gain out of it. But the play we do have is the stop and the go. So you combine that. I have 2 separate plays. So if we start doing that, they start reacting pretty good to that. Then the next time I do it, I'm going to do the stop and go, and I'll show you that if we have time later on.
Hey, so our philosophy, we stole it right from Hal Mummy, and that's how I know you guys the coach that taught you is from that tree. The philosophy that we tell the kids day one: throw short as many times to your playmakers, and then when they come up on that, then throw deep to the same guys, right? Like that's literally the philosophy. Throw short as many times as you can, and then pop it. I love that.
That's just going to open up something else.
And guess what? If you're a running game coach that wants to argue about running the ball, if they got 4 yards and a cloud of smoke on power, they'd be ecstatic. That's a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, they thought they stole something. They thought they stole something. The running coaches. All right, here we are. We're back. I think these are back our ones again. Same defense. Safety's way back. Complete that anytime we want to. Anytime we want to. So, as you say, this is not a sexy play. I mean, you look at this and you go, well, yeah, you're right. It's easy to teach. Well, it's harder than you think to run that right. Yeah. And I guess go back. Our guy went a little deeper. He went too deep, and this is a sub. This is a 2 guy. But when he planted, he did perfect. When he planted, he stopped, he turned, he didn't drift. He planted.
Yeah.
And we did catch him on the linebacker stunt. You see the linebacker stunt here. Our back should have picked him up because that's the back's guy. But he planted. He did a little deep, but he planted himself. Did just what he's supposed to do. This receiver is planted, facing the quarterback, just like what he's supposed to do. I mean, again, even if there's a defender right there, to your question, that's still a completion.
Yep.
To me.
5 yards.
Five yards, and as you said, it sets up something else when you need it.
100%. I love it.
Okay. Somebody's going to ask me, okay, that's cool. I got it. I can teach that, and that I see where that's good. Hey, can you do that out of trips? Oh, we want to run trips, and we want to run all stop. The receivers that were over here, he's still running his 4 yards, turning. He's still running his 5 yards. The A back who's come over, or excuse me, this is the Y. This is the Y. Excuse me. This guy who's the most inside receiver now he is running essentially a read route, green grass route, stick route, whatever you want to call it. So. Let me go back. They're going to go 3 by 3. Okay, they're tired of us running the hitch, and they're going to go 3 by 3. Yeah, this. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
Because that looks juicy over there too, right?
Oh, that looks juicy. Kind of like that play we were talking about, the other day, this morning. Yeah. Anyway, depending on his alignment, if he aligns head up, he is still going green grass, and you'll see in a minute. If he gets inside, he's going to go straight downfield. He's going to occupy his defender for this guy, and so it shows you. So anyway, so the inside most receiver is reading the defender. He is reading the near defender to him. If he is not covered, he is going to green grass. If he's covered, he is running straight downfield. And I'll show you both versions.
Beautiful.
I love the doubles, the stick that we just showed. When we go to trips, this is one of the first things that I do. I'm doing 2 things. I'm seeing if you're going 3 over 2. If you're going 3 over 2, I'm also going to want to know how you're doing it, and this will invariably be the first or the second route that I call. It's going to be the stick to see what you're going to do.
Coach, the amount of people that actually man up out there it's not
Well,
very common.
they actually
we see,
do to us after we wear them out. And
Do you?
then that leaves the open side. We'll get to that. That's so, as you say, that's so tasty. Okay, to the people that you and I, Coach, have talked to, the people that say you can't do this with youth the 7th grade. This is 7th grade. Now, admittedly, this guy looks like your guy from last year. This guy is unusual guy for the 7th grade. He's really good. But this is the
Big
first game of the season. This is trips left, 7th grade. I've chosen to put the back on the weak side here and not over here. Are they 3 over 2, Coach? These are their 2 coaches.
Well, is that one guy's coming out though? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, he's yeah. Okay, we're running. Yeah, okay, we're running. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah, you got it. You got numbers.
So are they
All day.
3 over 2? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Where's my green grass? Any coach in America, any 7th grader, any 5th grader, tell them, hey, where's the green grass, son? He's going to point right in. He's going to point right there, isn't he?
Right at that coach back there.
Green grass isn't right there. The green grass is right to that coach. So and these are 7th graders. So let's watch this play. He does actually go downfield and he goes downfield like I told him. Watch this. Watch this route. This is a great route. Watch this.
Yep.
He ran
Two
down.
defenders on him.
So I said, everything's got to look like an all vert. He went his first 2 steps downfield, and then he went to green grass. How many guys did he occupy?
2.
2 defenders. Our 7th grade quarterback, and admittedly, he's teeny, but he's also pretty good. He gets that ball out there. You can't see him, but here we go. We almost score on this.
Yeah, there's guys running.
Let's run.
That's a good thing.
As you said, we're going to throw it 5 yards, and he's going to run for another 5. So let's do it. So again, this is trips. The one thing that we do, we widen that. If you noticed it, we widened out a little bit to give him to see exactly what this guy was going to do. We'll let this guy run out of the way. Let's go let this guy run. He's the middle. He's the linebacker. He doesn't know where to go. He's going to stay right there. We say, that's fine.
Perfect.
And there we go. We'll run through the play this time. This is with 7th graders again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
And that's a good throw. Yes, I'm blessed. Those were good players. That's a good throw. Can everybody – that's a what? That's a 12-yard throw? I'd say 12-year-old, 13-year-old, even 11-year-old. Your quarterback should be able to make that throw.
Yeah, on a line. These kids are advanced.
And that was an easy read. That wasn't hard.
No.
I mean,
that's the genius of it all.
That wasn't hard. 8th grade. So let's work it. 8th graders. Okay. When we went over this play, I got on to my guy. got on to my inside receiver about not going to green grass, and he went, well, Coach, my defender's inside. Okay, so going over our rules, we are still 3 over 2 here, correct?
Absolutely, all day.
We're 3 over 2, so I like it. So we're going over here because we're going to go over here until they go 3 over 3, basically. Okay? I have my back over here to set up my flare later or whatever I want to do later to see what they're going to do. They don't do anything, do they? They don't do nothing. Okay? So where's my green grass? Is the green grass right in here? I originally said, you should have taken your defender here to leave our guy wide open. The other thing we're not doing, we should have been a little wider.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed? We should have been wider.
Agree.
But our guy, our inside guy, he's also, I'm blessed, he's a good player. His father played quarterback at Ole Miss in the Canadian League. He's going to be really good. He knew his guy was on the inside shoulder, so he said, I'm just going to run downfield and shield him, and I know that I'm not the read, so watch the play.
Wide open.
Look at my sticks here, pre-snap. Look at my sticks. That was a 3rd down play.
Oh yeah.
So I chose to go that because I'm thinking now I'm not at midfield, but I'm thinking if I can get this close, I'm at the 30 what 2. I'm thinking I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to do anything sexy. I'm not going to do anything. This was, you can see we still got light. So we play at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we're still early in the game. So I'm not going to think stupid to lose the game, but I want to try to get the first down. So I thought, okay, let's see if we can line up in the stick. Let's see if they still stay 3 over 2. Let's see if we can complete it and see if we can get close so I can go for it on 4th down. So what do you think? You going for it there?
Oh, baby. Yeah, and you know what? The difference between sitting on the 30-yard line on your own 30 and your own 40 with that mentality, that's night and day. So heck yeah, I'm going for it.
We're fixing to be 4th and what? Right where the Zeeb is right there. You going for it, Coach?
Yeah. 4th and a yard at my own 40. I'm going every single time.
I'm going
100%.
Youth. My coaches will kill me if I didn't go for it. So there you go.
Right. I love it.
So, I mean, I got
awesome, Coach. I love that play.
More clips, but that is the all stop. Y'all call it. I think most call it the all hitch. I can't. We were coming up with a way to call it. I couldn't figure out a way to call the hitch. So I said, oh, they're just stopping and turning around, right? So we just call it. We just call it the all stop. So our sequence. So we have the all stop. The all stop and go. Let me show you this play really quick, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, let's see it.
7th graders. Okay, we're stuttering here. We call it a stutter. Watch our receivers. Not really good by this guy who we throw it to. Again, watch my good 7th grader. These are 7th graders again. We're running the stop and go or the stutter and go. So watch what we do. Watch this guy's route. It didn't come here. Watch him stuttering. So we've just run the all stop now. Keep that in mind. I should have played it.
No, we got you. You set this up.
Yep.
Nice. Over the top, touchdown.
Yeah. If you saw him, watch this guy right here. See how he breaks down and stutters?
Yep.
When he broke down and stutter, look at all the defenders. Defenders their shoulders are squared to the line of scrimmage, aren't they? Because they're going
flat-footed.
Because they're going, I've seen that play before.
Yep, I'm coming.
Or at the very least, I'm squatting right there and I'm fixing to tackle him, right? So
all you need is a pause.
Yep.
All you need is a pause.
So all we're doing, we call it 2 ways. We can stop and go, or we can stutter. We can stutter and go. So this guy does it just enough. He stutters just enough for this guy to just look at his feet. His feet are together. And there he goes.
Yep, it's over. Let him put the ball up and let him go make a play.
Coach Lasker, any youth coach in America can do that. Can do that play. Anybody can do that. Anybody can teach that play, and that play works virtually every time. It's not sexy. You just got to do a couple of things right. And more importantly, any quarterback you got can make that throw. He can read one guy, and he can make a 7 to 12-yard throws. All those clips were what, 7 to 12 yards? Any guy can do it. Any guy can
15 yards. In 7th grade, you got somebody on your team that can throw 15 yards that loves football. I
never see this on YouTube. I think this is an underutilized play because it's not sexy. But like you say, just throw it out to you guys. If you've got a good guy, just throw it out to him and let him do the work. And another thing is in that play, Coach, as you know from a coach, you always also worry about pass protect. On all those plays, the quarterback was 1,001, 1,002, the ball's out of his hand, right? You can also pass protect on that play. If you want to run a play and execute it and get it and just get a play in the books to run successfully, there's you an early game play because you can pass protect it and you can throw it and you can throw it accurately. And receivers, it's not hard for your receivers to run. To me, it's an underutilized play at youth and middle school football. And our high school has watched this play and go, we need to run this a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's just free yards. People are giving you free money. Take it all day. There's no reason not to. The install is minimal. Just practice it, and your kids will get it.
And I could have showed you. I just uploaded those clips. There's a bunch more clips, and we do that play a
Good.
bunch because it also sets up the vert that we both love. All right, can we move on? Are you good? You want to talk about that
let's do it.
anymore?
No, that's perfect. Let's move it on.
The slant hitch, our number one quick game. It's not the vert. It is the curl flat because I picked it the other night because not a lot of people run it like we run it. Again, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I think it's unusual for the defenses, and it stretches them. And so the question was, which one is your favorite? That's my favorite. This is my second favorite. Nope, curl flat and go. Nope, it's not that play, not curl flat and go.
That's a home run shot, though. I love it.
I love that play. Slant hitch. We are running. Go back. Let's introduce it like this. Here are my assignments for the play. I don't know if you can see it. The X,
Yes, sir.
for us, the X and the Z are the outside receivers. You're taking a more, we call it, hey, you're more on this mandatory outside release. This is a more route, 5 yards downfield. Okay? The inside receivers are doing we call it an us route, us, under Sam. So so you go, what the hell are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Again, this play looks like your all go. This looks like your vert.
Yep.
This looks like anybody in America's vert. To the defense, it looks enough like a vert where you better cover it. You better cover it like a vert.
Yes, sir.
For our inside receivers, we're telling our inside receivers, we want you to do an us route. We want you to find the two defender. The quarterback is finding the two defender, and we want you to run in front of or under the two defender. And when you get there, you're going to go vertical. We call that an us route. If you're running this also helps you to teach the Y cross, which I know you have, because the Y cross is we call it a U-sum route. Under Sam, over Mike. So this is the precursor to teaching you how to do that other route. You already know how to get underneath the linebacker. And also you get underneath the linebacker, and your other play is what? The stick.
Yep.
So again,
100%.
You're practicing those other concepts that are going to help you in some of these other plays in this quick game route. So you see, again, you see the area we're looking at, and here you go 5 yards, stop, plant your foot, and you're going to go straight across to the other sideline. You keep going until either one, the ball's thrown, or two, you find green grass. And when you find green grass, excuse my language, you stop your ass and you plant your foot and you turn around. If you are followed and there's no green grass, you just keep running. It turns into a shallow route.
Yep. Love it.
The R on this, 2 of the quick game routes, there's 5 quick game routes for us, right? As you mentioned, 2 of the routes, he does a check flare. This is one. Anytime I call a slant in our offense, he automatically flares. So this looked to me, this is your play. When we were talking, I think one time we were texting or we were on Facebook, and we were talking about the stick, and I said, no, we don't really run stick. What is this play?
Yeah. Again, you're attacking the same areas of the grass that we do.
This is the stick, really, is it not? Out of doubles, this is the stick. He's flaring. He's going vertical. He's looking for, well, we're sticking, but we're going vertical. We're not standing there. We're going vertical, but we have a guy coming underneath it in this area. So we're putting a lot of pressure on these two guys right here. They got to do something.
Right.
So
They
this
have to
is
be in the right spot.
This is in doubles. We have the stick that we do in doubles, but you know what? I bet you we ran that 5 times this year. But we run
Right.
this play a bunch. This is one of our go-to plays, and it hadn't been stopped yet. This puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Love it.
Questions,
I love
comments?
it. You got film on this one? I love it.
So for other coaches, if any help, I know everybody, when we talk about the stick, everybody knows this is basically our stick concept. We're just fooling with it in another play. It is a quick game route. It is a one-step drop. It is a one read, and we are throwing it. Now the quarterback has 3 options to throw it to. Him, or him, just like the stick. It is putting the pressure on the defense to cover here. You got to cover here. And this guy's got to – if this guy sits in here, we're throwing it to this guy every time.
Yeah,
and
this guy,
at least for 2 or 3 steps, is going to follow this guy. You wouldn't believe the times we throw it to this, and this guy turns it up and we score. Unbelievable.
I agree. I love it. And so progression-wise, it's the same type of thing, right? You're reading the number 2 defender and see what happens.
2 defender.
Love it.
But now there's an either or. If the 2 defender squad, the 2 defender stays right there, he is told to take no more reads. He is told to reset and throw to that guy right there.
All day. It's just a sweep. You got one of your best athletes on the field in space with blockers and a free safety that might have an angle at 10 yards from now. I mean, what's better than that?
At the very least, he's not going to get in contact to what, right? I mean, that's 5-6 yards.
5 yards.
Contact.
With your best player.
It ain't this play ain't. It's not sexy. There's not a lot going on. You have to run
football coach.
You have to run it correct. But you run this play correctly, I'm telling you, you can't stop it. This is one of my favorite most plays. Now, you'll see a lot of this. This is one of our go-to plays on the goal line. Every coach in our league knows it. It's been coming for years, and they still don't stop it. The only adjustment we do make to this is if you notice our inside receivers, how do they look to you? How's that guy up there look to you? He's out wider a little bit, isn't he?
Okay. Yeah. He is.
So we tell our guys to widen out a little bit. We ran this play. We don't complete this play. They have an extra defender over here. I messed up. We will go to the wrong side here, but you'll get an idea of the concept.
Coach, talk real quick about why you widen him, because you want him on the slant to have a little bit more space to operate, or
right.
you want to isolate that outside linebacker a little bit more?
Yep. Let's go back. Let's go back to my diagram, and let's go back to
you got your email sharing the screen, just to let you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I got to get. I got to get rid of this thing up here.
No worries. I can edit it out. Don't worry.
All right. So we widen out because we tell our guy.
Coach, see if you can kick it out. I can't edit it out of the screen, but I can edit out the part where you're trying to mess with it. There you go.
There we go. All right.
Okay, there.
All right, so let's go back.
And yeah.
We're widening our guys out because our rules are it's the us route. It's under Sam. Unless this guy's way inside, we want you to try to influence that guy and see if he'll take you. So we want you to go at an angle to go inside. It's a us route under Sam. This is Sam.
Yep.
And so we widen out, number one, to see if you'll take the bait and widen out with me.
So in that scenario, you might think maybe it's man. You get a little bit of an idea.
That's right. And it gives the receiver more work. If he doesn't take the bait, if he's well coached, we wouldn't take the bait. We wouldn't widen out. We're not going to do that. our guy will go straight downfield, and we're gonna get it right there to you, and we're gonna score. Either way, you're wrong.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a good question, and that is the teaching point for that inside receiver and for your quarterback. And you're exactly right. You picked up on it. That's what makes that play work.
Love it.
This is not, believe it or not, this is not the same play. We've scored again. This is a 2-point conversion. You know, I'm dumb. We're going to do the same thing, and they line up the same way. They got extra defenders over here. They only got, so how many guys they got over there? I only got 2 guys over there.
Not enough.
So I got smart this time. I messed up the first time. They got not, as coach says, not enough over there. So here we go.
All day.
So
Love it.
look at this linebacker right here. Linebacker walks up. So he's – and another thing I want to talk about in a minute that was mentioned by Coach Napier that you turned me on to. I watched him the other night, who said this. Watch this linebacker. He's been well coached because so watch the play. When our running back takes off, what does that inside backer do? Because he's obviously been coached to do what? Watch it. Watch that guy. So he walks up.
Yep.
He takes off, doesn't he? He's been told that, hey, if Oxford flares that linebacker, if flares that back, you better go out there with him. And that opens up our inside guy right there.
Can't be right. Can't be right.
You cannot defend with those defenders. How that is aligned, you cannot. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be arrogant, but you cannot defend that play.
No, but that's the thing about this is like.
And it's a 5-yard again. That was a 5-yard throw. It was a simple. It was a simple read, and your guys see that same defense in your league out across the country. You know.
Yep.
It's no different. It's the same.
That's the whole point of this, coaches, is that those are people. I get that question a lot. I know Mackie talks about it a lot. You talk about it a lot. You don't need a 6'5" cannon, 6'5" QB with a cannon. You just need a guy that likes football a little bit more than most kids. You know, get somebody that loves ball, and they can all throw about 10 to 15 yards. And if you can find that, you got a quarterback. You can
at least do a little something to move up and down the field, and like you say, have different guys catch the ball, and they are having my mantra fun. Again, those 2 clips were 7th graders. This is the 7th graders again. These are 7th graders. These are my 2s. These are all. See, it's a different quarterback. Scabini running back. These are my whole 2s, including the line. We've scored again, and so guess what we're going to do again? This is a great route. Watch his route right there. Look at that.
Yep. Look at that, wide open. Man. You see some of these.
Any team can do that.
Some of these defensive coaches freak out. Yep, they really can. I love it. I love it, Coach.
These are 8th graders. One thing, if I can say, Coach Napier mentioned that. You know, he did, at your suggestion, I looked at it the other night. I don't know if I looked at the right thing. He did a 2-part thing for a coach. I think a buddy of his is what I watched. It was like an hour long. He did 2 sections, but there were other coaches watching it. And some guy asked him a question, and he said, and I can't remember exactly what the question was, but Coach Napier said, he said, in his opinion, the most underutilized aspect of the air raid that makes the air raid the most effective is most coaches in high school don't really utilize the R flare. And if Coach Leach in Washington, I think his backs usually average 80 to 100 catches a year. They're usually his 2nd or 3rd leading receiver, his running back. So over 13-game season, that's like 6 to 8 to 10 catches a game?
Yep. Exactly.
And that's Oxford. We block it about 3 different ways, but we're going to run the R flare. Again, for us, we do have a sweep, but for us, our sweep is our R flare. So if you play Oxford, probably a defensive end and a linebacker is going to be assigned to the R flare. But you know what? That's fine, because if the R flare doesn't work, we're R flaring on a couple of routes automatically, and it's opening up some other stuff.
Yeah. Open up the slant behind.
Open up the
Love
slant behind. They collapse. These guys knew we were doing this. These are 8th graders. This is a pretty good group.
Love it.
We widened out a little bit. We usually are in a little bit tighter. We widen out. We could actually be a little wider. We should be a little wider. And some of these are some of our second team guys, but this is my first team quarterback, and he is pretty good. He zips that ball pretty good. We actually go a little bit deeper. They're in a 4-3 looking thing again. You've got 1 linebacker, 2 safeties you can't even see because we've run the stop and go, and they all go a couple times, and they've gone, we're not going to get beat. And you probably the same thing in your league with your guys. Probably some coaches go, oh, that big guy's not going to get behind us. So here we go.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Okay. Hey, I did this for you. We are in gun here. We are in gun. We've got 2 backs here.
2 back.
We're in gun. So this is our slant hitch route. They're running that over there, but I thought we could get it to the open side again because we are flare a lot. I thought they'd fly to this guy, even though we don't have our slant guy. Our slant guy's over there. We're in gun, but we're still the outside guy is running sort of a hitch slant type thing. This guy's flaring. That's what makes this play work. Is our back flare? Both backs are flaring.
Yeah, and yeah, someone took them.
And this was a 2-point conversion with no time on the clock to win the game.
Ooh, love it. Yeah, that play. I think you put that on Facebook the other day. That receiver looks like a nice player too.
He's a good player. He's that quarterback's guy. So the slant hitch, and I'll put it up again, and just work on the diagram here out of doubles. You've got a lot of things going on here. It's again a simple route. 5 yards, go across. Get underneath the linebacker if you can, and go vertical. I mean, you can be as technical as you want to be.
Right.
In the R, you're going to check your linebacker. If he doesn't come, you're flaring. I mean, anybody can do those things. You can do those routes. It's an easy read, but you're putting the defense in an awesome bind, and nobody's going deep. And again, this is a 1-step drop. All those clips, the ball was out of the quarterback's hand. 1,001, 1,002. It never got to 1,003, I don't think. So you can pass protect. So all those things as a coach you're concerned about, can your guys do? I think these are quick, and that's what the quick game is. Though these are things that you can do, that you can teach. They aren't sexy, but they are very effective. And like in the case of this route, this route sets up, because this is another play, if you don't mind me showing. This play sets up something else that we put in. The derivative. Most guys would call this the shallow, right?
Yep.
Now, we're not doing it as a concept on one side, and these guys are doing something else on the other, which is fine. And I'm not saying this way is right. You can run it however you want to. And that's, again, like you mentioned, this is the beauty. You can do it however. You can have this as a rhythm side and this is a read side if you want to do it like that, and make it a 1 or 2 step drop for us, this is part of our quick game. It looks like a vertical. Okay. I am calling the flare or not on this. And we can do this out of trips. I'm going to show you a trip. We love this out of trips. Okay. But this teaches you, and this also, so when we get ready to do the mesh and we start teaching the mesh, our guys kind of have a frame of reference to what we're doing. So so I want to say to some of these coaches that have seen these plays in the mesh and you try to run it and you're not really sure why it doesn't look like it looks, for some of these coaches, by the time we put the mesh in, we've done this a million times.
Yeah.
And they know what we're talking about and they know what we're doing. So when we do the mesh, the mesh takes us 2 seconds. I mean, it takes us literally 5 minutes to put the mesh in.
I love it. I love it.
So we'll show my play. I think I got a couple plays here. Here I am out of the field. These are seventh graders again. I like to let everybody see these plays with seventh graders running it. I don't know if we've scored. I don't think we've scored, but we're fixing to score. Okay. We're trips left. We're going to run the all hitch. He was the outside receiver. He's running a little different. And the inside receivers are running 4 yards, but if you notice, they're not lining up the same depth, just like your guys don't. They're running 4 yards. The 2 inside receivers are running 4 yards from where they are. So we have so you have your 3 levels. You're talking about the 3 levels. So this guy's going a little deeper, and these guys are going across. So, every one of those guys was open. And again,
you're attacking grass.
It's a 5-yard route. We've got our guy, our back actually messed it up. Our back should have been flaring.
Yeah, he's out there. That grass is open way out there.
Now this guy's collapsing, but you can see that linebacker's trying to get out there to our back.
Yep. He's not worried about that receiver.
Yeah, that guy was really wide open. And I'll run one other play. I think I've got to play to our okay, these are out of doubles. Okay, this is out of doubles. This is okay. Back to Lausanne. I like to pick on Lausanne again because this was a quality team now. So we're in doubles. We're running the all hitch, not the slant hitch. We're running the all hitch. So here we go.
Yeah, both guys were open. You could have thrown it the other one.
And look at the other side. They're just as wide open on the other side.
100%.
So again, not sexy, but easy route. Hard to cover, man. I wouldn't want to cover that. Hard to cover. Anyway, that's what Oxford is. That's what we're about. And we spend majority of our time doing this. Our other big series is the bubble game. We won't go into that, but see, this looks complicated, but these are just bubbles to every receiver. We have a bubble to every receiver. And we have a combination route to every receiver. But notice the key slant. We're running the bubble, and we're reading this. We're not blocking it. We're reading this. And this is our slant route that we've already been working on. And he knows this is a us route. He knows to try to get inside. So again, we were talking about our practice concepts. So when we do the quick game a million times and we start to put this route in, they know what we're doing because it's stuff that we've done 1,000 times before. They know how to run the route. So
I love it, Coach.
That's again, I'm not trying to that we do it great or we do it. This is the way to do it. This works for us. There's sort of a as you can say, this builds and it's a sequence, and that's what we do. But I would encourage coaches, Coach Napier said, to involve your R in the pass game. The R is a receiver, and he should be an active receiver. He should catch a lot of passes. And I think he said he should be in your top 3 receiving as far as numbers of catches. It opens up so many other things.
I could not agree more. And he's a part of literally part of our first progression reads on almost all of our plays. So I can't agree more. In youth, he probably is one of your best athletes still. So why wouldn't you want to get him in space, just like the rest of the offense? And I think to your point, Coach, and to you coaches out there watching, Coach made it extremely clear that his plays, as he's installing them, and as they continue to build this into the playbook, his few, whatever it is, 16 plays, small playbook, they all work off each other. And there's a reason why he picked this play, and there's a reason why he picked the next play, because it builds off that play. So these kids aren't learning a new idea or concept or route with every play. They're saying, okay, this route, we're going to use this repetitively in various passing plays and concepts, and it all builds on each other. And that's what I would encourage you coaches.
Right.
We picked our 3 quick game plays the same way. They all read the same areas of grass. As long as they make sense, you're not here to run plays. You're here to run a system. And now this air raid, that's the beauty of the air raid. No matter which plays you pick, it's a system that it all works off each other. The kids can learn it and build off each other. And it's not like they're learning something new every stinking play.
That's right. On your group, our group, I guess, because I love the group.
It's ours.
Posted, I think this morning or yesterday, posted. He asked some of us what our passing tree was. Because he wanted to start, and I wanted to say there isn't a passing tree. Don't do that. There's only 3 or 4 things you need to learn, and you got to get your head away from the number 7 routes, the post, and the flat. You get your head away from all that, because that makes it, like you said, more complicated than it needs to be. There's only about 4 concepts that you need to learn and drill, and everything, and everything's already in there. You don't need the passing tree, and that's what makes it fun. That, again, to mine and yours point for other coaches, that's what makes it fun and easy. You don't have to teach the passing tree. You don't have to teach 7, 8, 9, 10 routes. All you have to teach is about 3 or 4 things. And I know Coach has posted on his webpage and on to the group some of his practice stuff. And what I've shared, with Matt, and he can post is, some of our practice scripts. I did on, a couple of guys asked about my drills, and I had to on what I'm sending you is the YouTube links to that, so you can look at those drills. I'm not trying to tell you what drills to do. You can, like Matt said, you can find them, but get yourself away from the passing tree and teaching them, the deep sideline, the sideline, and the post, and the post corner, and the post curl, and the flat, and the post corner. Don't do that.
Yep.
Just teach you a couple of simple things and keep repping them. And all that is included in just a couple of simple things that I think he and I have showed you, and it makes it fun for the kids and less memorization. Just go to the green grass. That's our mantra.
Yeah.
We open every practice, every drill for our receivers, and we go, okay, guys, where do we go? We go to green grass. That means that we open every practice with the receivers. Guys, where do we go? We go to green grass. If Coach Lasker and I were playing pickup ball, and I go back in the huddle, and and I go, will you throw me the ball? And Coach Masker's going to go, okay, you run to the tree, and if you're open, turn around, and I'm going to throw it to you. I mean, that's kind of what this is. You go to kind of certain areas, and if you're open, stop. If you're not open, keep running until you're open. That's in a very rudimentary sense. That's really all that you're doing. And there's a million drills. Coaches showed you some drills, and there's a million drills to show you how to do that. And the drills are fun. Okay,
they love it.
Much.
No, and I love this topic because I'm passionate about it. Because I could hear the coaches right now saying, well, if you're not teaching passing tree number 1 through 9 in the high school, they're not ready for high school. There's nothing further from the truth. If a high school coach,
We don't have a
Yeah,
passing
if a
team
high school coach is going to inherit 15 receivers that understand the concept of finding open grass, understand how to run a slant properly, understand how to run a hitch, and understand the concept of if someone's chasing you, keep running. If no one's chasing you, find green grass and settle a noose. If you hand a high school that batch of receivers like that, they will come down and jump into whatever you want them. They'll participate in your functions. They will love you forever. So it is something that it goes beyond youth and middle school. And Coach, I commend you for doing this for so long and coming back to coaching, and not to mention being a teacher and an educator for so long. So thank you for all of that. And thank you for this conversation. I love talking ball with you, Mike, and I'm sure we're going to have a few more of these. We'll get into your quick game or your screen game, because I love that too, because it's probably the second most important part of this whole thing, and maybe we'll do a video on that. But thank you, Mike, for joining us.
And remember, you're coming to talk to my staff here in a couple of weeks. We're going to set it up, so you're going to come teach us your all vert. You're going to
fly me out on the.
But talking about that,
on the private jet.
Yeah, we talked about the way we do it, the hitch or the stop and the stop and go, and then the way you incorporate it into the read route. I mean, for the other coaches, just think about that. That's 3 or 4 routes right there that you could, that just in, just basically one or two concepts. You have, so many things just built into that one play because it all looks the same. It would be very hard for even a good defense to stop. I mean, we could, I've been asking Matt for 2 weeks. I said, I want to do a Zoom with you just to talk for a couple hours, just about the way we both of us do the all goes, because it's interesting. But that is just such an effective thing. Just the one route to teach, just a couple of concepts, but it's virtually unstoppable. If you coach it right and teach it right, it's unstoppable at any level. It really is.
Yep. Agreed. And all the information that's out there nowadays, you can coach it right. Just because you've never done it yourself, there's plenty of material out there. So take advantage, coaches. All right, Mike, thanks for joining us. If you guys haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click it down below. We're going to continue to do videos like this with high school or with middle school and youth coaches that I just want to show you guys that people are doing it at a high level. Coach Mike is a great example of that. We're going to continue on with our roundtables bi-weekly. So if you haven't registered for that, it's growing fast. Come on, talk some ball with middle school and youth coaches throughout the country. We had a nice big group last week. We talked all quick game, but as Mike said, we are getting into every little nuance. Coming up, drop back game. We're going to talk about how we get plays in. So check that out. It's all on the website, airraidwarden.com. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Thanks, Mike Hardwick, for joining me. And yes, we will continue going on with this series, and let's just all help kids choose football again, which is my whole goal out of this whole thing. So thanks, coaches. We'll talk soon.